15 minutes. If I'm in the car, if I'm on the treadmill, I can really kind of keep up and get the good idea on all sorts of books that otherwise wouldn't have time to read. It's not just new stuff. I mean, there's classic stuff. I really enjoyed listening to Thomas Paine's Common Sense or Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. They were really a great summary that helped me to recall these books that I've studied in the past. But also, I just listened to the one on Jared Cohen's Accidental Presidents, 8 Men Who Changed America, which is an exciting new title in history. It just came out this year. It's really well regarded. I've been meaning to read it, and because of Blinkist, I was able to get to it, at least get the gist of that book. I'm sure I'll get back to it sometime, but I mean, that was just a great break to take with Blinkist. So here's the deal. I think you'll love this app. The first 100 people who sign up using the link in the description are going to get not just the first week free, but if you choose to go to the premium subscription, which is I certainly did, then it's going to give you 25% off, and that's with the link that's in the description. By the mid-1930s, war clouds were already on the horizon throughout the world. In the United States, the prevailing mood was isolationism and non-interventionism. The U.S. involvement in World War I had been costly, and the national attitude, and the attitudes of powerful members of Congress, was that the U.S. must be prevented from being dragged into another European war. The Congress passed Neutrality Acts, starting in 1935, to prevent the nation trading with powers at war. But the 1930s, starting with the Italian invasion of Ethiopia in October 1935, would test the nation's ability to remain neutral in a time of conflict.
Okay, Garmin, save video.
The slow drift towards war accelerated after the September 1st, 1939 German invasion of Poland. The invasion, ostensibly predicated over a dispute regarding the free city of Danzig, had sparked a broader war. France and Britain had joined military agreements with Poland, largely in an attempt to force a diplomatic solution. But when diplomacy failed and Germany invaded, both were obliged to enter the war. Roosevelt understood that the outbreak of the war would include, as it had in World War I, a conflict over shipping in the Atlantic. Despite the isolationist attitude at home, Roosevelt wanted to help Britain as much as possible without outright violating neutrality. On September 5th, Roosevelt announced an Air and Sea Neutrality Patrol. He claimed that the intent of the patrol was to monitor the actions of belligerent ships, and October 7th was joined by the foreign ministers of the American republics in what was called the Panama Declaration, which designated a patrol zone that extended between 200 and 300 miles from the shores of North and South America. The patrolling was done by a task force that included both the Navy and the Coast Guard. If the patrols sighted a U-boat, they were not allowed to attack, but they could monitor and radio its location to British and Canadian forces. In addition, Roosevelt convinced Congress to amend the Neutrality Act to allow so-called cash and carry sales. This provision allowed the sale of goods to a belligerent nation so long as they picked them up from an American port and transported them themselves. In